Here we go. Dog, you ain't
Yo.
got your light behind you? We going live. We live right now, bro.
I'm good. What's going on, people?
What's going on, my fellas, man?
What's going on, fellas?
Yo,
I got a plus one tonight.
Huh?
We got a plus one tonight.
We got a plus one. Man,
All
these
right.
are two dudes I'm always feverishly like texting like nonstop. And love to get these guys on the podcast, man. And we just getting over. It's shocking. We just getting over what happened last night.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked.
Wait, what?
Now, listen, bro. On the podcast, you can't be doing a lot of Monday morning quarterback. It's not going to seem legit.
That's why we record the podcast, right?
Wait.
Dude, you're not.
Who did I say was going to win Game 7?
Huh?
Who did I say?
No. Maybe you won't be in shock as the game by game is going, but to think they would be able to come back from 3-1, that's where the shock is.
Okay, I can accept that.
Okay, so listen, let's set it up real quick. This was supposed to be a season of maybe potentially LeBron's greatest challenge. Would you guys say that?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you could say Golden State. You know,
Definitely not.
definitely not.
Definitely not. Not my vision for that. Not at all.
Wow.
Wait,
I would say.
Clarify what you're saying.
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
To me, this NBA season has the most parity that I can remember in my 20 plus years of watching basketball.
Probably 30, bro. Don't let yourself.
30
based on, but based on what though? Based on what?
Every
pandemic
team has a chance to win the championship.
Because of the pandemic. Because of the bubble.
No. Just because no team has 3 superstars, right? Every team that's kind of good only has 2. So it's a fair level. Everybody's on the same level when it comes to that. Yes, some stars may have a better combination, than others, but at the end of the day, everybody has 2. There's no Golden State Warriors with
I mean,
Clay, KD.
Boston a 3-man tandem or not?
No, stop.
No.
Okay.
Stop it.
You guys are both hating on Boston. I've been texting you guys. You guys both hating on Boston, but
they're a good team.
Yeah, it's not hate.
They're a good team, but in
don't think
no
they have
way.
a 3-man like a legit 3-man. I mean, Kemba,
No.
Tatum, and Brown. No.
All right.
No.
Who's the stars? You telling me?
Kemba, Tatum.
No.
Kemba,
The
Tatum,
star.
and Brown.
Who's the number 1 star?
Yeah, it was a star.
You got to go with Tatum, right?
He hasn't established himself yet.
If to tell you the truth, he's barely better than Chris Middleton.
What?
Yeah, I agree. I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
See, you guys are with the disrespect.
Come on, man.
Yo, it's just the utter the disgusting Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton was an all-star.
Middleton might be better than Tatum. He might
Chris
be.
Middleton was an all-star, correct? Was he not an all-star?
Correct.
Okay, how many times was Tatum an all-star?
Might be his first one. First or second.
Was it?
No, it's first. Definitely his first.
This is his first. So what's the big deal? Like Tatum has gone a certain length to the playoffs. So has Middleton. What's the big difference?
Listen to me, guys. Tatum definitely, his trajectory is nowhere near.
We're not talking about trajectory.
You're right. We're talking about right here and right now, not the trajectory. Right here, right now, as a player.
I think. Listen to me. Okay. Here's my point. I definitely think that Tatum has much more go-to moves. He has a variety of ways to score. Middleton is a mainly jump shot shooting guy. And he's not going to draw fouls on the opponent like Tatum will. All right, so Tatum's getting a little roasted right now because that block was pretty vicious. But at least he went to the rack with, you know what I mean? With reckless abandon.
How about that air ball right before that?
Huh?
Didn't he shoot an air ball right before that? He shot an air ball, right?
Yeah, matter of fact, he did get a shot off too. That was on trajectory.
Yeah,
it was on trajectory.
So you're saying right now, if you're gonna pick Chris Middleton, and you're gonna pick between Jason Tatum, you'd rather take Jason Tatum. And you're saying the upside. You're saying right now.
Right
it's
now,
significantly. It's not even close.
It's not even.
That's
close.
what you're saying.
Yo, first of all, okay.
I gotta disagree, man. I gotta disagree.
Hold on. Let me put in perspective. So Tatum is known as a first option on his team, right? And most people will consider. Most people will consider that the Greek Freak doesn't even have help. That's how bad they overlook Middleton.
I don't think people say that he doesn't have help. I don't hear that.
Yo, look at all the media. The whole media is saying that basically it's Greek Freak or bust.
Nah,
let's call it what it is. The Bucks won a game without the Greek Freak, and who was the one scoring?
I mean,
Middleton is the one who stepped it up and actually got that game.
Would you ride home with that?
That's without. But the facts are the facts. They had 5 games to play.
And competitive in the next one.
And was competitive without the Greek Freak. So to say that he has no help, that's ridiculous. They won without him in the playoffs. In a closeout game.
They're off without Greek Freak?
No. I said to say that he has no help in a playoff series, in a closeout game, that guy came up clutch.
I must concur.
Listen, I know we're on a podcast. I don't know what's to your right or to your left, but it's definitely something. Y'all drinking something heavy, bro. Like I don't think anyone would agree with this. Like the evidence.
Well, that's why we're here to drop this knowledge on you guys. You know what I mean? Because y'all ain't listening. Y'all listen to this ESPN and Fox News and all this other stuff. I'm telling you, you want to listen. You want to hear what's really going on. Tune in.
Right. And it's the eye test, brother. It's the eye test. You can't deny that. You can't deny the Greek Freak was out of the game. Middleton took over and won the game. That's something that the Greek Freak didn't do in that series. That's just a fact. See,
when you're making an argument like that,
Middleton didn't have no help, huh?
None.
Who was his help?
Who was his help?
But when you're making arguments like that, you're making the argument that they potentially could be better off without him.
I didn't say that.
We're just saying that, hey,
I never said that.
He has help. We're saying that Greek Freak has help. The reason why they're losing this game is because they're going through him too much. That's why they're really losing. He can't be the point guard, the center. He can't be everything. He can't be the LeBron. He can't do it. That's not his game.
I got to agree with Charles. But I think until Greek Freak hits jumpers, like successfully, that's when they'll be. But right now, they're packing the middle on them. That's all they're doing.
Listen, this part, like we really want to get to the nuts and bolts, the juicy part to it, but we know so much basketball. And I definitely want to challenge this. We've never attached so much responsibility to a big man before in the history of the NBA. Hey,
stop it.
You gotta be the guy bringing up the ball. What do you have teammates for? What?
Well, this is the LeBron-esque atmosphere. This is what he has brought to the game. Correct. He's brought up one person, does it all. They bring up the ball.
Legit big man. He's a legit player.
No. Remember when Jason Kidd was there? What happened? He wanted Giannis to be the point guard.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because they're trying to free him up just to get a
free him up. How are you freeing the point guard?
What I'm saying is, if you give him the ball, right, and you give him the first option to take a direct line to the rack, and he can finish, that's what you want to do. Now this whole building wall thing, you know what I mean?
That is not what I want to do, because what's next?
What's in terms of next? Like
when he shut that down? When you shut that down, because
the whole point is it's always going to be open if your teammates hit open shots. If my teammates are consistently hitting open shots, those shots, like my line drive is going to be open. The reason why
you're saying that guys didn't hit shots now?
Huh?
You saying the guys on his team didn't hit shots?
They're definitely not hitting shots. They're not.
So it's their fault.
Yeah, it's their fault. Giannis shooting 25%.
They had the number one record in the entire NBA.
Correct.
And they were hitting shots during the regular season. When the lights got bright, people started cramping up.
See, you're seeing things from two different perspectives, man, because the second perspective that I'm going to look at it as is the defense has adjusted. When you play a team 7 games, 5 games, you're seeing them every day. They're not coming into town and just be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to Utah the next day. You're sitting down, you're watching. You know this is where Wesley Matthews likes to shoot. This is where Chris Middleton likes to set up at, you're now adjusting. And a good player has to adjust to that too, because now you're playing somebody for a 7-game series. So to say that you won in a regular season, you could be regular season champs all day. You have to be able to adjust. That's what the great ones do.
Exactly.
Adjust.
I mean,
That's what, and Milwaukee is not adjusting.
You make a good
And not only did Milwaukee not adjust, Milwaukee's offense didn't adjust. Milwaukee's defense didn't adjust.
Agree.
I mean, when are we going? I didn't even. Giannis, after that first game, he wanted no parts of Jimmy Butler. No parts.
Just to give you a little backdrop, because I want you to understand where this guy's coming from. He's already taken, and again, I want to get to the Clippers so bad, but this is just so. But anyway, Charles has already taken Greek Freak off the top 5 as well as Harden. So I'm just giving you perspective. I don't agree with any one of those.
I mean, I don't have to agree, but I'd like to hear his points when it comes to that. But that's his opinion. That's fine. I'd like to hear what his argument would be.
Thank you. Just to be real quick about it, I took both of them off because, one, I had other people, one person in particular,
Elevated.
step it up so much. This young boy.
Recency bias. I told you about this, man.
Luka Doncic.
The dude's sick.
Good player,
Dude
but
sick.
it's too recent.
The boy is sick.
Sample size is way too small.
Way too small.
No, I don't agree. I think listen. Just like we just said, in the playoffs you adjust, and in the playoffs there's something that you turn on. And what we saw from Luka, what we see from Dame Dash in the playoffs and stuff like that, I don't care if I don't see that in the regular season. What I saw from him, that's what he had. That's a dog. Luka by himself. You want to talk about somebody that had no help? Luka by himself brought them to what, 6 games? Was it 6 games that they went to the series?
So tell me about another guy, Donovan Mitchell. Tell me about that guy, because he only scored 57.
He stepped his game up.
Okay.
But
we weren't putting Donovan Mitchell anywhere in the top 5. He scored nearly 60 points.
Was Donovan Mitchell averaging 39 and 9 for the regular season? And then Donovan Mitchell then turned that 39 and 9 and said, guess what? I could do a little bit more. Did he do that?
That boy was sick.
60 points?
Okay.
50, 59 or 57 points?
50, he scored 57 one game, and guess what? It was up 3-1.
Correct.
3-1, bro.
Now we're getting right back into it because, again,
3-1.
I'm still in shock with the whole thing last night. So Denver has now officially came back from 3-1. They're either like offensively lazy or they're a great team. All right. So let's start at the top. Going in, like, what can the Clippers do, Charles? And I'll give you the first shot at it. In terms of improving, what do you see him doing next year? Who should be the first to go? Like what would you like to see next year?
They got to find a big man. They got to find somebody 6'10" and 7 feet tall that can guard, that can play. Whether it's you steal Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, or DeMarcus Cousins. You got to go after one of those 3 guys in order to fill that hole at the center position. I don't care what anybody say. You want to play rocket small ball, you let D'Antonio affect your head thinking that's good basketball. Guess what? You're not going to win a championship without a big man, period. Unless you're going to put 5 of the best players like Golden State did. Unless you do something like that, ain't no way you're going to win a championship without a big man.
D-ball, hit me.
I see it as they don't have to blow up that team. I don't even think they have to blow up that team. I think that what I saw it's called execution. You know, when you execute, I don't even see them running an offense.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They're not even they're just going down there and they're saying pass, and then you get the shot. PG-13 to me has the license to shoot whenever he wants, and apparently that's what he did. But let's take a real quick mental health break.
Yep.
PG literally to me broke down in front of my eyes. In the Game 7 game, he had a wide open 3. He hit the corner of the board. That's not a physical thing. You see what I'm saying? That's a mental thing.
You're not even on target. It's not even close.
Okay. He literally broke that. And when you don't have discipline, when you're not in your set, you become frenetic. And that's what they panicked. That, to me, what I see the Clippers get punched in the mouth. They panic and they become frenetic. They start looking around at each other. And this is what happened. They came back. It was tied up. They start looking around. Everybody was trying to get their own buckets. Nobody. Where's Doc Rivers? Where's the lead dog to say, hey, I got it, guys. Give me the ball. I'll let it happen.
That's the question.
I saw none of that.
Who's the lead dog?
3 games in a row.
Who's the lead dog? Who gets the most blame?
I'm going to go at
where do you make changes?
Doc Rivers, to me, I respect him as a coach. He's got to go. Let me throw something out to you.
Because I'm coming down a little bit off my just fire everybody and get the fuck out of my face.
Doc Rivers got to go.
Coming down off my anger. Replace him with who, D-Ball?
Mark Jackson.
You're pulling.
Mark Jackson's a good, like I said, discipline and throw a set. Let's see. Van Gundy, the old Van Gundy, the other Van Gundy, somebody that's going to go in there and teach some defense, because obviously they have offense if they're running a set. They need to get some defensive toughness, and they need to get a clear leader to pause the game, not to let somebody run because to me, they started off wrong when they let Kawhi run the whole team. When Kawhi said, I'm going to do load management, I'm going to tell you when I play, that's throwing the wrong vibe out to me for the whole team. And that comes back to bite him. Because let me just throw this in real quick.
Yep.
Load management, the whole purpose of load management was so you rest your legs so that you have legs for what? The longer playoffs, okay? In the fourth quarter, him and Paul George scored 5 points. What would load management doing for you then? That's when you're supposed to have legs. That's when you're supposed to be hitting your jumpers. 1 for 11, 2 for 12.
Them guys look.
You're supposed to have your legs. That's when you're supposed to have your legs. You're supposed to be fresher than the other guys. So what did load management really do for you?
Yeah, but again, so you're saying from your perspective, still keep the team and go forward.
Because I don't think if you bring somebody else in, it's going to be different. I think it's going to be a different, like a little bit different, but you got to start from the top. To me, Doc Rivers messed up by bending the knee to Kawhi, letting him do whatever he had to do, letting PG-13 come in, do whatever he had to do. Doc Rivers has been that coach since 2013. Okay, 2013. They've never gone to the Western Conference Finals.
Never got past the second round. And
at some point, they've got first place. They've been ranked third. They've been ranked third in the West. First round exit. Didn't make the playoffs. First round exit. Second round exit. At some point, you got to start looking at, hey, the best season he's ever had, and this is statistically
right.
He's ever had. That's when he had Vinny Del Negro's team. Do you remember Vinny Del Negro had a team?
He came up right behind Vinny. Gotcha.
And the next year, he had the best team. But after that, he was making his own teams and going nowhere. So
he was the coach / president when he was making executive
general manager or something. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good.
At some point, you got to look at him and say, you're down 3-1, coach. You need to win one game with that roster. I'm looking at you.
Okay. And what about the talent? Do you do any changes? Montrez, lemon pepper
Lou.
Lemon pepper Lou. Obviously, he'll never be able to live that nickname down. I mean, it's over for him.
Never.
Listen, to me, I think you keep Zubac. They never even gave, and maybe maybe it's just wishful thinking, but they never gave Joe Kim a single minute.
Come on, stop.
So listen, that's all I'm saying. Listen, I agree. He's but they never gave him a single minute. Okay,
there has to be a reason.
True. But do you ship out the 6th man of the year like literally the next year?
But you have 2 of them. You have Montrez and you have Lemon Pepper.
They both had horrific, catastrophic, maybe career ending
But you got to understand, in that series, Montrez especially, he had people that could guard him. Whether it's on a bench or starting, he had people that could guard him. He had grown man Millsap. He had the 10 with. He had Jokic, who's way bigger than him.
Giving him buckets.
and make him work, give him all that work. And what happens in the playoffs usually? Teams slow it down. Clippers look old, methodical. They weren't running any offense. I don't even think I saw pick and roll. I just saw ISO this, ISO that, drive and kick. That's it.
But
can I see a play run?
There's two parts I want to attack that response with. One, when you have two great players, again, like how do you not run ISO ball? Because it's hard to get the two best players to run pick and roll.
Are they good ISO players?
I think so.
You think Kawhi's a good ISO player?
I think so.
I didn't. I never thought that.
I would say Kawhi is a good ISO player, but if I'm a coach, I'm looking at that game. I'm looking at PG-13, how he played the first series, the second series. Like I'm saying, I'm not running ISO for him because he hasn't hit anything the whole series. 2 series before, he got hot every once in a while. So I'm running a set. I'm running the set with him, get his confidence up. Run a set with him and Lou Williams, get their confidence up, get them going. They never got going. Never did they get going.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is revisionist thinking, because here's the thing. Paul George was it last year or the year before last? He was actually an MVP candidate. Why wouldn't you run an ISO play for a guy who can shoot?
That was a couple of years ago. Yeah, that was a couple of years ago in OKC.
You can. I'm not saying to not ever do it, but I'm saying you've watched him in Dallas, right? They were called Pandemic P. Like you've seen him in the series. He was playing horrible. Okay, so for me as a coach, I'm like, okay, let me get his feet up back from underneath him. Let me run some plays for him. Run some plays for him. Get his confidence up, so get him going. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Because he shrank. Like I said, it was not a physical thing. It was a mental thing. At the end of the games, he started to shrink. He started to push, and he had to. It's in his head. He hit the corner of. He's a professional athlete. He hit the corner of the backboard on a wide open shot.
The turnovers on top of that, the turnovers that he was making, like he was just not in sync. The whole team looked absolutely horrible in that game 7. Absolutely horrible.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just don't understand how you give up double-digit leads in 3 straight games and lose.
That has to look at your culture. To me, it looks at your culture. Okay. 3 times, not once. Okay, because it can happen once. Then it can happen to you twice. All right, what is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. 3 times, okay, there's an issue. There's an issue. There's an inward issue.
Now, I thought Doc Rivers would be able to, coach this team into a win, but geez. Once it went to game 7, I got no faith in Chris and Paul George. Zero.
None.
Zero. I've seen him crumble so many times.
Okay, too many. Debo, I'm gonna put the court in here and I'll put the ball in your court one more time. Did Denver win this game or Clippers lose this game?
I think Denver won the game. Denver was down 12 points. They came back from down 12 points, and Denver to me is outmatched by the Clippers. Outmatched. Like they played above what they were supposed to. Look at the stats. You got I think the young man, not Murray, but the other light-skinned bro.
Harris.
Porter.
Harris.
Porter.
Yeah.
Okay.
These guys are stepping up while the Clippers guys are stepping down. Now, I have to give them credit for that. I can't take away from that. Lou Williams, 6th man of the year. Montrezl Harrell, 6th man of the year. They're stepping down, and these young guys are stepping up. Even this young kid, I think his first name was Gary. He seems like he was a point guard. He was
Gary Harris,
Gary
Harris. Playing out of their mind. So, and this is game 7. This is if there was ever a time for a young boy to shrink.
They were playing a little bit looser than Clippers too, though. To be honest, I mean, it felt like Clippers they were just carrying too much baggage.
At the end of the day, the Nuggets went to their go-to pick and roll with their 2 best players, and they pick and rolled them to death.
Right.
To death. Nobody could say, you know what, I could guard. This kid had Sheldon. He had 40 points, Sheldon. He had 40 points, Sheldon.
It's hard to get over that, man. I mean, I'm hoping that
40.
I could get over this, but I don't think. I think it's too much. Listen, Kawhi's not LeBron. He's not going to be able to You knew LeBron was good enough to probably get out of this whole Dallas debacle. I don't see Kawhi getting out of this debacle. It's just too much.
He's too close to the end of his career, so that may be true.
I mean, he's only 28, I think, or 29.
29. But he has to load manage.
But man, this is some things to get off, your head, man. You got to really push. Charles,
Joker.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to say.
So you said you put the ball in your two best player and they killed him with pick and roll. I do want to stay on this on this series, but I do want to hedge my bets a little bit. Jokic, will he be able to perform, or will they make him look like a regular pedestrian? Lakers.
I mean that even in Game 7, really, what really killed him? They was dishing out. They had to double team him every time because he's the biggest guy on the court. They had to double team him. Lakers not gonna have to double team. They're not gonna have to at all. So that's gonna be an issue. That's now the Nuggets are gonna have to look to where they're gonna get this scoring from, because it's not gonna be from that pick and roll kick into the open man, because there's not gonna be an open man there. Anthony Davis is gonna guard him, or Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee. They're gonna be able to stand in front of him. So that's gonna be an issue. Joker's gonna have to score. He's gonna have to score.
D-Ball, didn't we go into this series saying that they had the best 3 defensive wingman players? So we thought they'll be able to defend, their pick and roll and wherever they had thrown at them. We didn't.
Well, not the pick and roll.
Yeah, I mean, well, they were able. The whole thing with the Clippers, they were saying that they're able to switch on everything. So
yes,
pick and roll wasn't a big issue. That was
the talk, but the thing about
what's going to make the Lakers different in this LA team?
I agree with Charles, but they don't have to double. Zubac was a certain type of big man, and then Montrezl Harrell was way too small. Okay, Anthony Davis, he's not as big, but he's got length and he's athletic, so he can move. So he can get in front of Joker and he can get some of those blocks. JaVale McGee is athletic and he's big. Dwight Howard is size. So the Lakers kind of have something different that kind of influences now Joker. Joker was deadly because he had, I believe he had about 13 assists as a big. He only scored 16 points, but 13 assists. He's basically running all of the offense. Even though Jamal Murray had 40 points, Joker is getting all the rest of them by hitting dimes, hitting everybody off with layups, hitting his guys off with guys who don't have to make hard shots. They're making layups. So that's what it comes down to, getting easy buckets. And the Clippers were getting harder buckets. The easier the buckets are. So the Lakers, to me, are going to be able to disrupt some of what they have going on because they're not going to get those easy buckets. That's my opinion.
When was the last time you saw someone make a pass behind their back like this? Like when's the last time?
A lot of disrespect. I thought there was some disrespect there.
At that point, this kid Jokic was just doing whatever he wanted, man. Whatever. I mean, some of the shots he was making or throwing up, it was like, okay, I can make this with ease. He just, flinging it. Like no one could guard him. Yeah. That's gonna be a totally different story when you play LA.
There's some disrespect there that you got to step up to. You got to bring that challenge.
The Clippers are the king of woofing. I've seen Montrezl Harrell go crazy when Plumlee comes off the bench. He starts woofing. He gets as soon as the Joker comes back in, all of a sudden that shuts down real quick. So I don't feel bad about them clowning him like that. Patrick Beverly, he was the one waving at Dame Dollar. Dame Dollar to me is a baller. Okay, you don't tempt somebody like that. He's waving that guy. He's scoring 2 points a game, and you sitting here like instigating things. So I don't feel bad about the Clippers at all. They're the best front runners in the league, and they got what they deserve. They got blown out in a Game 7. Blown out.
Okay, but I don't want to have to do this, but I have to do this. Dude, the text that me and you were saying. You were staying with the Clippers. This guy, it was delusional. Every game he thought that the Clippers going to blow him out.
Because that's what's supposed to happen. Is that not what's supposed to happen?
They're supposed to. They do have a better team on paper. They should be able to run the ball up and down and not even be in no half-court set. You get that ball, you get that rebound, you should be out.
Explain one more time. So explain what happened in the last 3 games. If you think this is what they are.
They're walking up. You're walking up. You're getting a rebound, and you're going into a half-court set every single time. every single time. And
without any offense.
Denver is the only team that has a better half-court player, which is Jokic. That's one person that everyone could say, yo, we ain't got nobody to guard that guy.
Okay.
You don't.
Okay.
You don't. But you have somebody guard Murray, but you can't really guard him well. You got to deal with Jokic. You got to double team Jokic.
And again, why couldn't they guard Murray well? I mean, their team is so set up to stop somebody like Murray. Like, D-Ball, explain to me what – I mean, there's a little saying that's saying, Kawhi's Leonard, other responsibility had to step up, so his defense fell down.
Right.
You believe in that, or you're not?
Listen, if you're not scoring on one end as a superstar, then you better play defense. You better lock the other guy up. If not, you might as well just get out of the way, right? So let's say your shot is not falling. You better start locking this dude up. They were not doing that. And when like I said, when things got tight, what happened was you saw a lot of people looking around. They get hit with a screen. They're like, hey, you go pick him up. Well, and then when the bucket would go in, they look at you like, what? Like, see, that is continuity, but that comes down to leadership. That comes down to like, hey, I got him. It's the same thing when Luka scored that 3-point shot on Reggie Jackson. Side note, Doc was so desperate he threw Reggie Jackson in the game 7, just so you know. He didn't play barely. So that's to show you how desperate he was. But that time, Luka was actually being guarded by Kawhi. Kawhi got a little pick and let Reggie Jackson defend him and get the 3.
Barely a pick. All they did was walk by each other. It was like, yo, you switch it.
And he acquiesced. Now, if that was LeBron, you would have to say, listen, you have to guard the best guy in the court for what, 3 seconds? Because it was one shot he had. The glove has got to be on him, right? So this is just something that's been happening the whole series long. No one's saying anything to him. They're emboldening him. They're what is it called when you just let people because they're acquiescent. Correct.
This MVP, Finals MVP, you gotta do all this slow management. Listen to him, or he's gonna leave you.
Sometimes you gotta tell him stop.
It's the hot girlfriend syndrome. I'm like, man, I gotta do everything she wants me to do. She's gonna leave. She got better options, and you just can't run a team like that. So we got a couple minutes left. I want to get into the next series because guess what? That series is gone. I'm coming down from my anger. I still would want to fight one of them if I had to, but I gotta move on. Let's talk about the next series. Dog, any problems? And first of all, any problems in any position, and give me a series take.
Boston and
Boston
and Miami?
No, Lakers and Denver.
Lakers and Denver?
Yep.
I think it's gonna be a battle. I think it's gonna be 6 games. I'm gonna have to give it to the Lakers because their pick and roll appears to be a whole lot better. I think they have better guarding options for Jokic. Maybe not so much with Murray, but I think LeBron. Who's gonna guard LeBron?
Give me a number.
Number what?
How many takes? You said 6, or you
said 6? Okay. Yeah, 6.
D-Ball, hit me up.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Charles again. It's kind of funny. I would say 6 games, but I think that Denver's going to be in the fight every single one of these games. I think obviously the game breaker to me is AD. I don't think anybody on Denver can guard AD. AD goes somewhat nuts and he D's up like we know he can, and they throw a couple bodies at Joker. They're going to be in some trouble.
So are we in any danger of AD being AD, meaning all done and just not playing in the fourth quarter?
I mean, after seeing what I saw, I can't be
the only thing I worry about with AD is the dude is injury prone.
Yes.
The dude is injury prone. So I'm gonna say there's, how I say there's a 10% chance someone's gonna get injured. With AD, that is like 40%. That's 40%, man. I worry about this guy a lot. Like every time he goes for a rebound, I'm like, yo, please don't let him come down somebody. If he dive on the floor, I'm like, oh, this guy's going to tear a rotator cuff or something.
Yep.
Yes,
I'm the same way.
Okay. I got again, I hate to say it because the whole point of me picking the Clippers was really truly for LeBron not to get his 4th ring. This whole GOAT talk is going to happen again, and it's just going to be too much for me. I may need to turn off the TV. I got the same thing. I got Lakers in 6, and I'm not going to say it's not a problem, but again, they got the matchups to contend with Jokic. I don't see any major hiccups.
Let me tell you something though. This
What
Clippers
should we watch?
loss.
What should we watch for, Charles?
This Clippers loss hurts LeBron's legacy. He
Hurt?
needed. It
Oh,
hurts.
okay. So are you saying this is very similar to us not getting to see the Kobe and LeBron matchup?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Correct.
I 100% agree. I think that the best remedy would be him going through the Clippers.
Yes, that would have, solidified himself. That might have even gave him more of bravado of winning a championship. The best thing he could have done was going through Kawhi. Best thing by far.
All right, fellas, that was a great wrap. I want to end with a quick bonus question, and I'm gonna hit you off. I'm gonna hit off D-ball with the question: who deserves a statue in front of the arena? Allen Iverson or Dr. J? Who deserves more of a statue?
I'm sorry, I'm going to go with Dr. J. I'm going with Dr. J. He's an icon. He brought basketball back when basketball was not fun, when it was on tape delay. Yeah. I'm going to say Dr. J.
Okay. And Doug?
I agree. Dr. J, he is the smoothest guy. I met him a couple times, and he is, just one of the coolest guys that you could ever meet. He doesn't come off like, superstar, but every time I meet him, it's like always in the airport, and he always has conversation. Seems right, like I'm not saying Allen Iverson is not that way, but I'm just saying that Dr. J just seems like that cool uncle, and his game was smooth.
All right, fellas, that was a wrap. Great talking with you guys, and we're going to do it again. Peace, fellas.
D-ball.